Miss Brady. I'm the library director at WeGo, and for the next few minutes you are going to be watching a preview of the 2019 summer reading books. Each section of English has different requirements, so just sit back and enjoy the show as you learn about your 2019 summer reading books. For senior electives, all you have to do is choose one of the next 8 books that I present and read that over the summer and be ready to discuss it in the fall. So you are going to hear about 8 books and you just need to choose one of them.
Oh, sing, sweet nightingale, sing, sweet nightingale.
The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna is a historical fiction novel, and it tells the story of 2 sisters in France during World War II and their struggle to survive and resist the German occupation of France. If you like historical fiction, this is a great novel for you to read.
Oh, sing, sweet nightingale.
I'm so excited to announce the September book club pick, which I just love this book. It is called Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I'm not even sure I can express in words how much I love this book. Have you ever read a book where you didn't want it to end, so you saved the last 10 pages and just don't read them? That's how I feel about this book. The person at the center of this book is a girl named Kaya, and she lives in the marshes in North Carolina. And it jumps back and forth between time, her and her life growing up as a little girl by herself in this marsh. The other part of the book is about a murder. And it happens when Kaya's about 22 years old, and it's a boy that she knows. I know some of our book club likes to listen on Audible, so you will love this version of it. It is so vivid, and it just transported me to another world. I hope everybody goes out and picks up this book, Where the Crawdads Sing. You will not be disappointed. You will love it. It is such a beautiful book. I didn't want it to end, and I can't wait to share it with all of you.
Victor Frankenstein seems to have everything: wealth, youth, friends, and family. He also has a burning desire for knowledge. However, his passion for learning leads him to perform a deed as terrible as it is marvelous. He finds a secret to life itself and builds a man, a towering monster of a man. You'll have to read it to find out what happens to his creation.
Hi, I'm Angie Thomas, and I'm here to introduce my novel, On the Come Up. On the Come Up is about 16-year-old Bree who wants to be one of the greatest rappers of all time, or at least get some streams on her mixtape. As the daughter of an underground rap legend who died right before he hit big, Bree's got massive shoes to fill. But when her mom unexpectedly loses her job, suddenly shut-off notices and eviction notices become as much of a part of Bree's life as beats and rhymes. And it's no longer about Bree wanting to make it. She has to make it.
Said he wanna be, but there's gonna be. Said he wanna be, shorty's gonna be a thug. What's a nice little...
This book is called Among the Thugs by Bill Buford, who used to be an American journalist, and he moved over to England and became fascinated with soccer fans turned hooligans. He studied for 8 years the different riots and the violence that some of these soccer fans would provoke after tournaments, specifically Manchester United. Some of the people that have read this book says the passages that turn me on to reading it also make me want to turn away. He said the accounts of these events are stunning, horrid, and exhilarating all at the same time. If you love true stories and are intrigued by the notorious English football hooligan subculture that ignited riots and violence in the late 1980s and early 90s, then you should read Among the Thugs.
Said he wanna be, but there's gonna be. Said he wanna be, shorty's gonna be a thug. What's a nice. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when.
I want to start my life over again. I saw her. I saw her from the train. She was with this man. Just for a second. Is this her?
You were seen in the area that night. Did you murder Megan Hipwell?
No.
Just tell me what happened that night.
Why are you here?
Because I'm afraid of myself.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I...
The best-selling book Tuesdays with Maury has inspired fans since its release 20 years ago. The book details soul-searching conversations between sports writer Mitch Albom and his dying former college professor, Maury Schwartz. Albom has sold more than 15 million copies of the book in 45 languages. It inspired an award-winning television movie starring the late Jack Lemmon and Hank Azaria.
I just can't accept it. I don't want you to die. I guess I flunked the course, huh?
Death ends a life, not a relationship.
Author Mitch Albom is joining us now. Welcome.
Hi.
I've forgotten the Jack Lemmon.
Yeah. Yeah, he was remarkable. It was really his last film, basically. Yeah.
What is it? I mean, you've been asked this 1,000 times that so resonates with people about this book.
I think most people in their life have had a teacher, and so that's sort of their Maury. I have people open their wallets to me and just take out a picture of their grandfather or something like that, and they say, this is my Maury, you know. And I think a lot of people are lost, like I was at that age, sort of saying, I'm going 1,000 miles an hour, and nothing seems to be really meaningful. And so they either relate to my character or Maury's character.
But you know, it's so interesting that your book continues to thrive today. As Charlie said, 15 million sold so far and still selling. But in the beginning, nobody paid any attention to you. Sports writer, you.
Yeah, actually, we got rejected a whole lot of places in this city. I still get haunted when I land here. You know, they said you're a sports writer, it's depressing, nobody wants to read it.
Because what was your pitch? What were you saying?
I said, I'm spending time with a dying professor and I'm really learning something about life, and I think it's important. And mainly, I wanted to pay his medical bills. That was the whole reason for writing it. It wasn't aimed to be a bestseller or anything like that. Maury had terrible debt for dying for 2 years. I had the idea to try to help pay it off by writing a book, and had I not been doing that, I probably would have given up. There were so many people said no to it, but I kept pushing. We found one publisher a few weeks before he died, and they agreed to print it, and they printed 20,000 copies, and I thought I'd
I remember that.
And a younger generation is finding this book, too.
I'm astounded. You know, there's so many children that are out. It's taught in schools around the world, in Japan and in Australia. And I always try to understand, well, how does that relate to it? I think because, you know, like Maury said to me once, I wasn't the only person to visit him, and people were going to try to cheer him up, but then he'd flip it on them, and he'd ask them about their divorce or their, you know, and they'd be crying when they came out, and they said, I tried to cheer him up, but he was cheering me up. Yeah. And I said, why do you do that? He said, well, why would I take from people who want to just give me sympathy? Giving makes me feel like I'm living. Yeah. And I never forgot that. That's like a profound sentence, and it also rhymes. And I think a lot of people relate to that, including young people. They understand that, you know, actually if you give out more in a relationship, you get more.
And then
And the last book for senior elective summer reading is called From Every End of This Earth, 13 Families and the New Lives They Made in America. This book is by a New York Times best-selling author, Stephen V. Roberts, and he follows the stories of 13 immigrant families in an eye-opening look at immigration in America today. He captures the voices of those living the promise of a new land and the difficulties of starting over among strangers whose suspicions increasingly outweigh their open-armed acceptance. Alright, I'm going to show you how to get your books off of our West Chicago High School Libraries Overdrive. So you need to go to d94.org, and then you need to go to For Students, and you find the WeGo LRC, or you can just type in wegolrc.org and go to ebooks and audiobooks. In order to log in, you need to type in your school email and then put your password in and go ahead and sign in. Once you are in here, all you have to do is you can look at any of the books. If you want to go to the collections, say your summer reading, 10th grade, you can click on that, and you're going to get all of the books that are in. Right now, it seems like quite a few people have them checked out, but you can still check these 3 out. So let's say I want to check this one out. I just click on Borrow and then go to Checkouts, and then you can see what you had checked out, and all you have to do is read in your browser. So click on here and I can just start reading the book. This will automatically return for you, so you don't have to worry about it in 2 weeks. I'm just going to go ahead and return it myself. You can do that as well. You can download it, it says up here, but it's just a lot easier to read it in your browser. So let's go back to that 10th grade reading. If you see a book on here that's grayed out here and you want to put a hold on it, so you'd be the next person in line to get it, you would just place a hold. So before you can join a hold list, you must enter your date of birth. So whenever, just put whatever. Submit. And then it's going to ask for your email address. You would just type in your student email address a couple times, and then it's automatically going to check it out for you when it's due. So that's how you get your summer reading book or any book off of Overdrive. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great summer and do lots of reading.